with your host, Cosmon Cal.
It's your hostess with the most is holding that fire like a roach clip, your noggin, your nerve, fresh up off of that curve, jelly jam and preserve. Young Cosmonian checking back in, man. Just kicking clouds up in here and there. All praise to the ever-present creator and those who stand by him. CGG, the creator gang, peace to the righteous gods and Nirvanian goddesses, love, light, balance, you know what I mean? As the people coming in, you dig what I'm talking about? We just gonna go ahead and set them vibes up. This is Jehovih Chronicles number 308. Okay. Oh, no, my bad. 307. 307. Jehovih Chronicles number 307, y'all. Salute to everybody coming in. As you coming in, man, wipe your feet. Be respectful. You dig what I'm saying? You know, thumb up the video. Share the live, share the love, man. I wanted to show this video because, man, it is a lot of Black, Negro, Aboriginal American hate coming out of not only you know, the fake Siberian Native Americans. And if y'all didn't know, a Native American and an American Indian are not the same thing. Right? An American indigenous is not the same as a Native American. Anybody in the world can be a Native American. All you have to do is be born in America and you're native to it. But that doesn't mean you're indigenous to it or aboriginal, meaning descent from the originals or from the beginning, right? So it's so much vitriol, you dig what I'm saying, coming from our own uninformed Black people, right, who've been indoctrinated with this out of Africa, Pan-African ideology for so long, you know, and they never look for their genealogy. They just believe what anybody tells them. You dig what I'm saying? How I know? Because I was one of them people that was indoctrinated that just believed what anybody told me. You dig what I'm saying? So you can't be a degenerate. You dig what I'm talking about? And willfully ignorant your whole life. And sometimes you just got to grow up. You can't do the same thing that you was doing and just keep and expect a different result. Right? It's just insanity. But not is it coming not only from the Africans, right? It's coming from inside our own and also the natives. It's so much vitriol, man, about you finding out who you are. That's crazy. Nobody else has to go through that. Why are they so afraid about you finding out who you are? It's a good question, man. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and let the people come.
World created our vortex first, and by its rotation and by the places in the firmament whither it traveleth, caused our the vortex to conceive the corporeal world. A great vortex created I for the sun. And within this vortex and subject to it, made I the vortices of many of the corporeal worlds. Think not. Oh, think not. Think not. Oh, man, that I created the sky, a barren waste, think not. And void of use. Think not. Even as man in the corporeal form is adapted to the corporeal earth, so is he in the spiritual form adapted to my ethereal worlds. Three great estates have I bestowed on man: the corporeal, the atmosphere, and the ethereal. Things that man sees, created I with a beginning and an end. But the unseen I made of endless duration. The corporeal man made I belonging to the scene, but the spiritual man made I as one within the unseen and everlasting. As the corporeal man beholdeth corporeal things, so doth the spiritual man follow upward the evaporated corporeal entities of things. As corporeal things are tangible to corporeal world.
Everything meets me where it's I wake up with the sun on my skin. Check the stars, yeah, I know when I win. Numbers talking every time I move. 111 saying trust the truth. Copper wrapped around my energy. Crystal sing harmony. With the crown, yeah, I'm balanced now. Every block just broke itself down. I don't force, I attract. Every cycle brings me back to myself. I'm a goddess, I'm glowing. Everywhere I go, I'm knowing the universe been showing me love. I'm a light, yeah, I'm chosen. Intuition in my motion. I don't chase, I'm open to love. Yeah, my life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was built for this position. Yeah, my life got rhythm. Every step divine precision. I was oh, speak truth, bring it loud. I remember who I am, light encoded in my head. Everywhere I go, I'm knowing. vision. I was built for this position. I no fear in my walk, no doubt in my tone. I speak things alive, then I leave them alone. I'm not lucky, I'm tuned. I don't beg, I commune when the veil gets thin. Oh, now let's go. I'm gonna feel what's coming up.
Now, we're gonna get to our brother Tariq Nasheed. You dig what I'm saying? Cooking. We're just gonna let him cook. Sometimes something, you know, you gotta see it for yourself to understand what's really going on, right? If you don't see the hate and the vitriol, you may think it doesn't exist, right? If you don't understand that, you know, as a melanated American and American Indian, Aboriginal American, you dig, a black man in America, you dig what I'm saying? It comes as a shock to many of us that our greatest enemies are not white folks or pale faces, or however you want to call them. That your greatest enemies, for the most part, look exactly like you, right? And I want y'all to notice, we the only people in the world who have to deal with this so-called identity crisis. Nobody tells the Russian, none of y'all argue it. But because many of y'all do descend from slave history, you dig what I'm talking about? You come from a long line of weak men. You dig what I'm talking about? Those who would rather stay enslaved and fight back, right? You may have lost your culture, but we find out in America that's not true. And primarily the people that they told us was the slaves and indentures were the Europeans. It was told in reverse. So, you know, when we see you know, people with brown skin using white supremacist talking points, this is exactly what you get. Shout out to the brother Tariq Nasheed.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. How are you, brother?
I'm good.
All right. What's on your mind, brother?
I'm just hearing a lot of fake, contrived history on his set.
Like
and
what? Like what?
Well, the brother just said, just not giving people a baseline history of what our ancestors
Now,
taught.
I want y'all to notice
real
quick. I want y'all to notice Tariq's going to keep asking him, what did I say that was wrong? And he, you know, he does that little sub-Saharan shuffle. You dig what I'm talking about? I like to call it the Hebrew wiggle. You dig what I'm talking about? When they don't know something, they'll just get the buck dancing, booty shaking, dropping it. All right. They get the stuttering and trying to breeze past the point by moving the goalposts. Nah, Tariq on his head.
Now you
Being
Caribbean.
honest.
You're Caribbean, right?
I'm Caribbean. No, I got a genealogy. I could put mine up now. You could put yours up now too. Mine goes up every day.
But you're Caribbean.
Right.
You're
no, I'm from my people from the plantation south. No, I'm letting you know where I'm from, bro.
Why do we have a
No, you
Caribbean
call
accent?
my bluff in front of these people because everybody knows who I am. So
Okay,
You
I
can
don't
put
know.
it up on
I
the
don't know
screen
who
now.
you are. I don't know who you are, sir. That's what
Okay,
I'm
well,
trying to
you
know.
meet me today. I'm letting you know who I am, bro.
Okay, well, when you come
All
in
right.
here, you're breathing very heavy. Is everything all right?
No, I'm laying in the bed, bro. No, it's late
Okay,
at night.
yo,
It's
roll
where I'm at.
over
It's
from.
about 3 a.m.
Okay, roll over from off your stomach because you kind of sassy and you're breathing
No, I'm
hard.
on my back, bro. I'm good.
All right, there
I
you
don't need
go.
no advice, but no, I'm good.
Okay, but
I just
still,
talk about the genealogy because I heard a claim about me being from somewhere else,
okay, but
and
yeah,
that's not the case.
I kind of hear a Caribbean accent.
But I'm letting you know what it is, though.
Okay,
Now, do you want to resolve this and see the genealogy and where my people from?
now,
Let's show that now.
where's your people from?
So my paternal side is from the coast of South Carolina,
Okay,
and my maternal side is from Maryland and Virginia.
got it. Okay, so what's your
Yeah.
issue? What issue do you have?
It's just it's a lot of false information. It's a lot of fake claims being made. I think a lot of times with panels, and I'm not saying you responsible, because I hear you say things that are true, right? I hear you say things that I think are also false.
Like
So I
what?
think you do both. I think you definitely say things that are true. You say things that are not necessarily true. But I think there's a lot of people out here who say outrageous stuff, and it goes unchecked, and it's not doing anybody a service. The fact that we let so much false information go unchecked in our community,
Then how come you don't holler at them about
and
it?
it's steering another generation in the wrong direction,
Then how come you don't
away
holler at
from
them
what our
about it?
ancestors taught.
Then how come you don't holler
Right.
at them about that?
What'd you say?
Well, how come you don't holler at the people when they're giving false information? How come you don't
I do
holler
it
at
every
them?
day. I do it every day, bro. I'm on this app every day.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
good. So what
Yeah.
what false information did I give?
So I think it's a couple things. I think first off, just not checking the false information for a lot of people. Like I said, that's everybody's personal choice, but a lot of false
Check it.
information I don't see get checked.
Why am I supposed to
But
check?
FBA,
Hold on, wait, hold on. Why am I supposed to check people? Why am I supposed to check people?
well, you got a platform, right? You're a researcher, correct?
I mean, shit, you got a platform. You're a researcher. You research your own
And
genealogy.
I listen and check everything off, because guess what I do? In my lives, people come up and they make a false claim and we deal with it on site.
Okay.
And we need the community to actually step up and do that. If we hear the false information and the false claims, we need people to step up and to check this stuff, right?
Okay.
And get our egos out of it. Listen, and the same goes for me. So like the brother came up here, said a whole bunch of false information. So I don't want to uncheck.
Which guy? We're talking about
But we
the guy,
get
the Morse,
people.
talking about the Morse guy?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just let him finish what he was saying. I didn't want to get into it because it was already long-winded. So he said what he said, and we just moved on. I didn't confirm or deny anything he said. He said what he said. I didn't want to press the issue because it'll get boring doing that. There's thousands of people listening, and people, they just want to hear more information. Now, again, what did I say wrong? Well, if I said some false information, what did I say false? I can stand on what I said, because you can't really point out anything I said false. The worst thing you can say is I didn't check somebody else who said something false. That's
Watch
a
him start
non-sequitur.
book
That's not
dancing.
right.
Listen, I don't want to have it's been polite, right? But like we can go through some of your videos and we can see some inaccuracies that definitely want to check.
Like what?
And we can go through Hidden History 1. We can go through a lot of the claims that were made on this panel. We can go through things that you said that weren't true. But here's the baseline that we do know, right? There is no such thing as a massive black presence prior to Columbus.
Oh, okay.
There is no massive black presence prior to 1619. Just in terms of facts, if we get our feelings out of it,
easily debunked.
if we get our feelings out of it,
okay.
and if I was to have somebody sit across me and to show me what primary sources, the history that people claim exists, for 5-10 minutes,
Okay.
they would struggle.
Okay.
And I know this because I do a lot every day.
All right. So that's not the
black
case.
people-
Why did they? Okay. If they didn't. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this, because every time you say something and when I respond, you kind of talk. Cut that shit out. All right. Let's start there. Let's stop doing that. All right. Let's stop that. Because I'm letting you talk. But when I try to respond, you just keep talking. So we don't do that. All right. We're going to have a dialogue. All right. We got to have a dialogue. You say something, then I'm going to respond, and then you respond. Let's do it like that. All right.
I heard you, but you asked me a question. I was giving you a response, though.
Okay.
So give everybody a recap on what just happened, and you interrupted as I gave a response.
But you're just kind of going. You're going on and on. Now let's
The
Ain't
more
got
went on
time.
and on, you didn't have a problem with it, though, right?
What
I'm muting
now?
up, though. I'm listening.
Yeah, I did have
The
a problem.
more
I
went
got him
on
off.
and on, and you didn't check it.
I got him off
All right,
because it was
I'm
all
going to
over
meet
the
up.
place.
I heard your
Okay.
direction, though. All
Got
right,
it.
I'm going to meet up, brother.
Now, you said there was no black people here before Columbus? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, so we have a baseline history. So I want everybody just to hear me real clear. It's a baseline history, baseline facts.
No. We're going to do it real simple. Yes or no? You're saying there are no black people in the Americas before Columbus. Is that what you're saying? Yes or no? We're going to get this. I like to make it real plain. We're going to make it real plain. There were no black people in the Americas before Columbus, right? That's what you said. Yes
You
or no?
asked it 3 times, and I gave you the same response 3 times, brother.
I haven't heard you, sir.
Okay, do you mind if I reply? Let me
Go
know when
ahead.
you're ready for me to reply.
Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. All right, so 1619 in North America, we don't have what we would call Negroes upon arrival. This is from the explorers' contact. A lot of our history from that perspective comes from explorers' first contact, and we don't have the history suggests a group of people that they call Negroes were here in 1619. The same is also true in 1492. So upon arrival, they're going out of their way to describe people that are not.
Okay, let's stop. What you said is not true. All right? What you said is not true.
You're just stopping me in the middle of talking.
Yeah, okay, no. If you say something that's not true, we're going to have to stop and fact check it.
Okay, perfect.
You just said something that wasn't true. All right, you said there were no people who they called Negroes here in the Americas before 1619. This is what you said. What you said is not true. The Portuguese and the Spanish clearly documented Negroes here. They had a racial category down in Brazil of black people who were from Guinea and the black people who were here. They had 2 categories. This is very well documented. They called them Negros de Guinea, Negros de Terra. And they made a distinction that these are both black groups, but they're not the same. One black group is from Guinea, which was what they called Africa. The other black group is from the land. They're from here. They said this explicitly. Why did they say that?
Okay, so you said what I said was inaccurate. Here's how we can resolve inaccuracies. And your numbers is going up. I don't want you to think your numbers is going down because people know who I am on this app. So I want you to remember.
I asked you a question, sir. Why did they call the natives?
Speak, bro.
Why did they call
Tariq, am I allowed to speak?
You only if you answer my question. Why did the Portuguese call the natives Negroes of the land? Go ahead and answer, please. Unmute your microphone, sir, and go ahead and answer. Your microphone is muted.
Briefly.
There you go. Go ahead and answer that. Why did they do that?
Okay, can you let me finish though? I promise you'll get a good response, okay?
Answer the question directly.
All right, so everybody, I heard your question. So I'm going to try to be brief because I won't get much time to speak because when you hear something you don't like, you cut me off, right? So I'll be brief. I'll try to make it you can time me under a minute, okay?
Answer the question,
Negro de Terra is a term. I heard you. You can't say answer the question while I'm answering the question, though, bro. Let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
All right, just relax. It's okay. All right, Negro de Terra is a term that's not used upon arrival. So remember we used that term upon arrival? Negro de Terra is not used until after 1549. Everybody, listen to what I'm saying and then fact check me. Negro de Terra is a Portuguese term. Portuguese meaning Brazil. Right? And everybody can fact. It's not a Spanish term. It's not an English term. It's a Portuguese term, and it's not used upon arrival. So that means 60 years after contact, they start using the term Negro de Terra, and this is by the Jesuits. And the term is used in the Aldeamentos. I'm going to repeat the words so everybody can hear me. Aldeamentos, and the Aldeamentos is a Jesuit-run society. The Jesuits are calling the indigenous people Negro de Terra. They discontinued the term in 1755.
Right.
So they start calling that. So just hear this out, brother. Hear me out, and I'll land it because I know I don't have much time because you disagree with me, but I can show what I'm saying.
You just proved my point.
There's Indians here. So brother, let me get it all out. Can I get it all out? I promise to get it out, and I'll be quiet because this is your lot. I'm in your space. 1549. Everybody heard me? That's when the term Negro de Terra is first being used. They discontinued the term in 1755. The people were called Indian before, the people were called Indian during, and the people were called Indian after. Actually, it was illegal to call an Indian Negro after 1755 because this is when they abolished Indian slavery in the Portuguese colonies. And remember, it's a Portuguese term. So it's not a term that was used.
I want y'all to listen how stupid he just sound. The Portuguese are from Europe. The Portuguese migrated and colonized Brazil. There were no Portuguese in Brazil before it was colonized. So what he doesn't know is that, and what he's ignorantly babbling about, I'll never understand. But what he doesn't seem to understand is that 1549 comes before 1619. And they're already calling the American Indian a Negro. Why? Because they say he looks like the Negro de Guinea or the niggas of Africa. But they're talking about the Negros de Terra, of the new land in Brazil. Right? So he already debunked his point and then doubled down on his debunking because he admitted that it's a Portuguese term calling the American Indians Negroes. Now, you asked him a question. Why are the Portuguese calling them Negroes if they're not Negroes? And we got all this.
To describe the people when they first saw them, and nor did they continue to call them that. You know who they continue to call a Negro? The Africans. Something called the Golden Act, Golden Law, that ended slavery in 1872, and they're calling those people Negro from the moment they got off the boat till 1872 till the day. Black people are still called Negro. So it's two different histories. Now, what I can do now is we can show everybody. All right? I'm glad you got your music on. You want me to land it? Let's show everybody now.
Oh,
okay? Let's show everybody.
Good freaking grief. Thank you. That was a bunch of plebiscite babble.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, we need to.
Good grief, that was a bunch of plebiscite babble. Yeah, you proved my point. Don't he? Does he realize he proved my point? He don't even realize he proved my point. Yeah, you proved my point. Yeah, they call them Negroes, but they stopped them 2 centuries later. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they called them that, but they stopped 2 centuries later. Yeah, they were calling them Negroes because they were black. He proved my point. I'm like, he's babbling while proving my point. I'm like, okay, what are you babbling for? God, sir, you proved my point. His initial thing was, wasn't nobody Negroes over here? Yeah, they were. They were called Negroes. You understand? And you proved it. Family, we can do this. I like to make it plain. See, I don't let them do all that babbling. I make it real plain. I make it real plain. Let's make it real simple, make it real plain. I dropped him because it's babble. He's just babbling. I'm not going to sit here and just hear plebiscite babble. Yeah, he's already proved my point. When you just contradict yourself like that, okay, what else? We don't have nothing else to talk about. You just talking to hear yourself talk at this point.
Yeah, what we talking about?
Damn.
You just agreed with me.
Okay, listen, what it is, right? What you have to do, I knew these were the Jesuits. See, in 1549, they called them Negro, okay? These were the Jesuits. It's the Portuguese word. See, Brazil was colonized by the Portuguese, okay? It's filibustering. When you ask somebody a question and then they start filibustering, they just want some attention. I don't want it. Nobody wants to hear this dude filibuster. What you got to understand was, okay, Brazil, okay? That's start with a B, R, A, Z, I, L, okay? Now, we got to understand. Let's look at the B, right? B, that's the second letter in the alphabet, okay? That's very significant, all right? Because B also stands for Bilderberg, which is part of the Illuminati, because they wanted you to get this information later on, but not currently there and at the time. See, understand? Centuries later, they wanted you to get the information, understand? So now that we understand that, Brazil was colonized by the Portuguese, not the Spaniards. It was the Portuguese. That starts with the letter P, okay? P stands for plebiscite, okay? So you got to form a plebiscite. And, man, I ain't about to sit here and listen to this bullshit. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm getting overstimulated with bullshit. You're overstimulating me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to that. Okay? No. Let's stop that. We're not doing plebiscite babbling. All right? We can prove over and over there were black people here, people who got reclassified as Negro. This is a fact. Only tethers sit up here and try to deny that.
Fact.
Tethers sit up here and try to deny it because tethers want us to be immigrants like them. They want us to be foreigners on a foreign land, which we are not. This is our homeland. We are not foreigners. Yes, we do have indigenous ancestry. We do. That's a fact. And with these plebiscite babblers, here's the thing. No matter how much proof you give them, because I gave proof. Y'all can look up what I just said, and he knows it. He thinks he's going to plebiscite his way out of it, though. Yeah, these people the name of the game, these people are actually foreign. I don't believe dude is of the lineage. I don't believe that. These people want us to be foreign too. And they hate the fact that we're not. They hate the fact that we are foundational to this country and we're recognizing our foundational lineage. Don't let nobody tell you there were black people on this land. Not only were there black people, the first occupants on this land were black people. The red natives came later. The red ones came later. That's why when they uncover all of the old ancient artifacts and bones and reconstruct them, what the hell do they look like? Lucia woman. Look like a black woman. That's what we all look like on this land thousands of years ago. This has been proven over and over again. Yeah, when people start trying to, when you see Lucia woman, you're seeing with your eyes that is a black, in modern terms today, that would be a black woman. No doubt at all. Lucia woman, if she was living today, would be classified as a black woman, straight up and down. And if they start denying that, we don't have anything else to talk about. If you deny that, what I'm seeing this person looking like a modern black American woman. Denying that is just bad faith arguing. All right? We've proven over and over that there were black people here. I can't wait for y'all to see the new Hidden Color 6. We go even deeper, by the way. We go even deeper. All right? Oh, he got some bullshit on his page calling us CIA. Yeah, I already knew that was his energy. I already knew it was on some real oppy bullshit. And also he had that Baltimore accent. And I told y'all about them Baltimore ops. Baltimore's full of them damn feds and ops. Baltimore's full of that. When you hear what you do, when you hear that accent, you better watch it. You might be dealing with a fed. All right? I told you, Baltimore is the Fed capital. That city is crawling with informants. All right. Let me see who we got. Now, there's a reason why they had a show called The Wire based on.
I want to show y'all something, right? Because he made a claim that Lucia, when they reconstructed her, mind you, For those who watched the debate, I already done broke down Lucia, and you dig what I'm saying, and gave her information on her. You dig what I'm saying? But she is the oldest interred body so far found in the Americas. 16,000 years old, 14,000 BC, prior to Clovis and all that, right? So, anyways, they reconstructed her face. And I want you to compare the reconstruction of the face of Lucia compared to the last survivor of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Watch this. Hold on. It's it didn't come up. Hold on. There, I see it. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I see it, but it's not coming up for some reason when I hold on 1 second. Cut that off because I see that. Hold on 1 second. I want y'all to see the comparison, how they look just alike. The oldest person from the Americas can take their body found, the oldest genetics compared to the oldest living survivor from the Tulsa Oklahoma race massacre, right? We're going to compare the last survivor of the Tulsa race war massacre against the oldest reconstructed face of an American Indian in the Americas. Watch this, y'all. Huh. You can't even make that up. You dig what I'm talking about? Hold on, let me blow this up. See if I can blow this up just a little bit more, so y'all can see the exact resemblance. I got it. So y'all can see the exact resemblance. Look at that there. Huh? They identical. Look at that nose. Look at them lips. Look at them cheekbones. Look how the eyebrow and the hair shape is. Because the American Indian is Negro. He's an Ahuan. Huh? Right? He's a mix. To make the modern Negro of America or Aboriginal Indigenous of America, you must mix the mound builder stock with the megalithic builder stock. Tall people with the little people. You get the people well shaped right in the middle. What do y'all think Angui means? Angui means well-shaped man. First of man. Why y'all think the Iroquois call themselves Angui? Why you think the Algonquins call themselves Anguican? Because they are the first of men. Huh? Look at the face. Look at the genetics. There ain't one native Mongoloidal Siberian, half Asian, half European that is on a reservation anywhere in the world that look like Lucia. There ain't one that look like the sister from the Tulsa race massacre. But just like Owaspy say, the Negro of America is the Indian of America. Ain't nothing they can do about it, y'all. And they hating.
Wire means undercover wire. You wearing a wire. Yeah, they try to say, tethers try to say they're Gullah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they got a lot of concentrated snitches and informants out there in Baltimore. Yeah. Man.
Uh-oh, Baltimore.
And shout out to some of the people in Baltimore who ain't ops, because I know they're like, oh, y'all, Tariq, you give us a hard time. Y'all got too many ops out there, man. Y'all got too many feds out there. I am gonna give y'all a hard time. Y'all city is Fed City. Y'all let them feds run around, and y'all know them niggas is feds out there, just crawling with them. All right, come on now. All right, let me get some folks in here, ladies. And I hope my dogs ain't barking at no damn another skunk out there. All right. Let me see. Y'all raised. Can you join? What's your name? Lena? Let's get Lena in here. Miss Lena? All right, let's get Miss Lena in here. All right. What's up, Lena?
How you doing, Tariq?
Hey, how you doing, beloved? I'm good.
These people be hating so bad. I done went on 2 panels within the last 2 days, and I had to go to war for us. Like, you have some of these operatives that try to pretend that they FBA, and I feel like they are Democratic shields. Like they tell you, well, you don't have a choice but to vote for the lesser evil. But I'm like, if they not offering our community any type of tangibles, I'm not voting for none of them. Like, it's like they guilt trip you. Like,
oh yeah,
it's crazy. Like, these people are nuts. Like, they are nuts. And one panel that I went on, Tariq, and they was like, well, can y'all explain FBA? So me and another dude was explaining it, and they're like, oh, I'm still confused. I just don't understand why. Y'all want to separate. And it's just like, if you take your feelings out of it and really understand why we trying to delineate, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what we're trying to do? But it's just like, when they do it, it's okay. But like, when we do it, everybody has a problem with it. And it's crazy because they'll try to mute you, or they'll try to drop you down when you're making facts, and they don't want to hear it. And it's just like, get your feelings out of it. Like, it's just crazy.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, beloved. But yeah, look, nobody's dumb at this point. Ain't nobody dumb. They know exactly what foundational Black American means. They know exactly what it means, especially the tethers. They know exactly what it means. Nobody's dumb or oblivious. It's the same thing. We're the same people y'all used to call Akatas. All right? All you foreigners who act dumb or you don't know what foundational Black America, we're the same people y'all called Akatas. We're the same people y'all called Yanks. We're those people. You knew what a damn Akata was. You knew what that was. You weren't confused. You know what an Akata was. That's what y'all.
Now, crazy part is, Owaspi agreed. Owaspi say, man, don't you expect no ungod-like people to do a godly thing? And don't you think you can fix a thing that isn't broken? The system was set up to be like it is. It already said that America is ran by the majority, right? It's called a republic. It's ran by the majority, right? Owaspi already revealed that why it can't never get right is the majority is always the lesser light, because there are always more dumb people, low spiritual rates. You dig what I'm talking about? Evil inclined. You dig what I'm talking about? Hateful people than there are loving people, right? There are more people in the low than there is on the high. So if the masses run the overall ideology for the people, it should be no surprise why it's corrupt. Why a politician is inherently corrupt, right? Why a lawyer is inherently a liar, because the system was built to bolster the lie. And one of the greatest lies and the greatest mystery, right? Besides the fact that Shaitan convinced the world that he is God, besides that, The second greatest mystery in the world is the true identity of the American Negro. And come to find out, he ain't nothing but American.
Called us. Y'all knew exactly what that was. You knew who was a Carter and who wasn't. You knew who was from your lineage and you knew who wasn't. You knew the ones who wasn't from your lineage or from West Africa.
And like I was saying, you dig what I'm talking about? Since the majority is the lesser light and the majority runs the society, you're always gonna have a messed up society. So you can't even worry about what they do. You got to worry about what you doing. Right? The problem is, and the great problem is, with a lot of these people, I'm talking about FBA and, all our opposition and the American Indians too, is that they looking for somebody else to do their heavy lifting for them. They're looking for a savior, right? They're looking for a one fits all type result, and that's not how it got messed up. So that's not how it's gonna get fixed, right? It's some individual issues and evil atrocities and genocides that must be addressed before, you know what I mean, or also while others are being addressed. Not, you got to be one or the other. You dig what I'm saying? Because what y'all got to understand is there's a difference between restoration and reparations, right? One is the result of the other, right? Gonna keep cooking.
We're Akatas. That's what y'all called us. Y'all knew exactly that we were a different ethnic group. Don't let these people play dumb. Now that we said, okay, we are a different ethnic group and we defined ourselves on our own terms. Now, all this fake confusion. Is it black? Is it, we're all the same niggas? Shut up. Shut the hell up. Now they want to do that playing dumb. We all in the same gang. Man, if they don't, these people need to stop and stop letting them play in your face. They ain't dumb. They're just mad because we delineated on our terms. See, they like to delineate on their terms. They like to be the ones setting boundaries. You see what I'm saying? They like to be the ones setting the boundaries, letting you know who's who can't claim this, who can claim that. They like to be the ones in control of that. Remember when our good brother Michael B. Jordan tried to get that Jorvay liquor? Them Trinidadians and Caribbeans jumped up and said, no, that is not your culture. We're setting a boundary. That is our culture. You need to get your hands off of it. They love setting boundaries on us, but they hate when we set boundaries on them. Now, all of a sudden, when we set the boundaries, hey, brother, respect to you, but you're not a foundational Black American, sir. Hey, what is this shit? What is this shit, nigga? Well, if the police pull me over, they start all that horse crap. See, ethnic group. Okay? We're not immigrants. And immigration issues that's not our issue. So now we're not fighting for their issues. They have to fight for themselves, which they are not used to doing, ladies and gentlemen. These are people who are not used to fighting white supremacy. They're not. They're used to getting the hell on somewhere and fleeing to the people who do fight it, and that's us.
America, right.
And then benefiting off of our historic gains and civil rights gains.
Facts.
I'm not being mean. Let's just talk facts. So when we delineate, no, it's a problem now because we're supposed to be an open pool
Crazy part is,
of infinite
crazy part is, whether y'all realize it or not, delineation lines up directly with what OWASP say. Don't it tell you that good people gonna have to get away from bad people? Where Shalom gonna be at? You think it's gonna be in the cities with them? Oh, no. Right? What you got to understand is anytime you're on a righteous path, right? When you whether you standing with the creator or you trying to get back in touch with your aboriginal heritage, you are going to have haters. Right? What inspires them to hate though? That's what you got to think about. Why would they even care? Right? Because they scared. In the end of the day, you going to leave them behind. Remember, we know what the vampiric spirit does. It feeds off the host. Same thing a parasitic animal does, parasitic ethnic groups do to the American, right? And mind you, when I say American, there's only one. Everybody else came from somewhere else except the Negro. Negroes don't come from Africa. Huh? Just like OWASP says. You dig what I'm talking about? Creator says, I'm going to leave one Ahoan in the land of North Guatemala. It's only one. And even the Caribbean, even our Caribbean brothers is not like us. Huh? Our Mesoamerican brothers, they may generally look like us, but they not us. Huh? We a whole different people. And even your creator said, you are the only and last of your kind, American Negro. You are nowhere else in majority but in America because you are a distinct people. Your experience is different than anybody else's in the world. Same reason you don't have not one cultural African practice. Shit. Africans just start getting last names in the 1960s. So we not them people.
resources for everybody to come and just drain and leech off of. You see? All that divisiveness talk only gets thrown on us when we simply recognize our
Notice when you stand to do
lineage.
something good, you gonna get some hate.
That's what the real problem is. And they're seeing that we don't give a damn because now the delineation movement, it's above me.
And that's another thing. Faithists don't mean soft. Faithists don't mean punk. Faithists don't mean gopher, lame, L7 square. It don't mean that. It means you're a realist. You're an objective spiritualist, a realist. Huh? A major difference between a materialist, right? Because first, we wake up in the morning, we real first. Before we brush our teeth, breath stinking, I'm already real. Already 100. That's what it means to be a faithist. To stand on your square and do the right thing when it ain't no benefit in it for you. Notice you are going to have haters if you do good works. Huh? Let the hate be your applause. Huh? Be flattered. Right? Be flattered.
Too big. It's above all of us. It's whining about it is futile. It's here now. You understand? The movement is here. It's up and it's stuck. Whining about our lineage, and a lot of, like the sister said, a lot of these people are Democrat operatives because the Democrats are really trying to scramble to get in front of this thing, which they can't. It's too late. Because the Democrats, and I always say this, a lot of these people attacking us all the time, these people are coming from the DNC. It's some Democrat shit. The Democrats are using their dark money to fund these people to get in our spaces and nonstop try to denigrate us and shame us and discredit us and try to reframe what our lineage is. Because they need a big generic voting block. They don't need us splintered up. They need every so-called minority vote they can get. They need a big ass generic minority coalition that's fueled off our backs. See, that minority coalition don't work if we ain't on board, ladies and gentlemen. This is the problem that the Democrats are having. Even though we don't get a damn thing, they need us because you need our history to justify giving all of these groups benefits and set-asides. You need us to be on board. And the fact that we ain't on board like that is fucking them up.
Yep.
It's kicking them in the ass.
Yep.
You understand? It's tearing them up. They need us to be on board. This is why all this shaming. Y'all MAGA? Y'all lining up with the white supremacists. If you don't
white
vote for
man,
Kamala,
don't go
that
for that
nonsense.
racism.
Listen,
don't go for that low vibratory racism. The white man. No. Huh? No. The white man ain't shot nobody in Detroit. Huh? My enemy look like me. Why? Because they not like us. A lot of these people, what I've been finding out is they have latched on to our culture and our heritage so much that they think they us. Even though they go home and their parents teach them to call us every pejorative name in the world. Akata, Abid, Sanj, all these derogatory names for slave and nigga. You dig what I'm saying? They teach them this stuff in their house in America against the people who fought to get them here. I need y'all to understand that. Right? We gonna let me play a joint real quick and we gonna jump back into this other stuff real quick. But I want to show y'all some other stuff, man, because this stuff get deep, man. That you got to think about it. Like, why don't they? Okay, if they misnomer the Aboriginal as Indian, right, or Native American, why ain't niggas who was Native Americans labeled as Native Americans today when the people from a whole nother continent and white people, pure white folks, let alone the Asian, Siberians, and let's not forget the Persians and Africans are being made into Native Americans. Right? And yet the copper-colored freemen, indigenous, get their names changed from black, Negro, colored, mulatto, Indian, African American, black. All these roughly every 10 years you get a new nigga name. You dig what I'm talking about? And that's just to hide who you actually are, right? Right? The power come from understanding who you are. And if they always got you looking over in Africa, you never pay attention to what's right up under your feet.
I put on my black shades because my future is so bright. Roll me up a spliff so I can get right. No worries on today, I took the day off. Jamming on the red star. We'll get there walking or by car. Not matter how far. Mr. Cloud Kicker, please don't hurt them. False gods, we gonna work them. Them sacred book got to judge them. You bring them, we raise them, have to serve them. Tons from the depths of my being, organically real. Center of the feeling goes far beyond the ceiling. We got that good stuff in Cosmonera. I got that good stuff in Cosmonera. We got that good stuff in Cosmonera. You got that good stuff in Cosmonera. It's 420, I feel like I'm about to float. Been to a few nations like a spotted coat. Head on swivel in the spirit, intuitive goal. Our stars can't be replicated, now act like you know. We be jamming on the red star with my friend. I got that good stuff, yeah, in Cosmonera. You got that good stuff in Cosmonera. We got that good stuff, yeah, in Cosmonera. We got that.
All right, let's just get into some information people may not know, and I'm just sharing, y'all. Let's go.
I found out why Black Americans aren't labeled Native Americans on paperwork. And it got everything to do with the paper genocide in 1866, where 5 of the Native American tribes were at their own civil war. Wait a minute,
Cosmo.
So let's break it down. They call them
but they only tell us about Indian removal in 1924 and when they changed the names of the people then. Huh? We thought that was the only one, Mr. Cosmonian. That's what you get for thinking. And this is why we don't pay you to think.
5 of the Native American tribes are at their own civil war, basically. So let's break it down. They call them the 5 civiled tribes, which were the Cherokee, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Muskogee, Creek, and the Seminole, right? And it says that the tribes were split between supporting the Union and the Confederacy. It says many leaders like Stan Watsey, who was Cherokee, aligned with the Confederacy because they felt the Union had abandoned them during the Trial of Tears or because they were slaveholders. A lot of people tend to forget this, but Native Americans were slave owners. Either or, it says because factions of all 5 tribes officially signed alliances with the Confederacy, it says the U.S. government declared that the tribes had forfeited all previous treaty rights. In 1866, the U.S. forced them to sign Reconstruction treaties. It says these treaties forced tribes to cede the western half of their lands and most importantly required them to grant full citizenship and land rights to their formerly enslaved members. So I asked Chad to create a map for me when it comes to how much land Native Americans owned before the Reconstruction treaties and after. This is how much they owned. This is how much they owned after, right? So let's get into the Native Americans having their own slaves, right? And they called them freedmen, which is very fucking interesting to me. Either or, the term freedmen refers to the formerly enslaved people of African or mixed descent who were owned by members of these 5 tribes. It says they were labeled freedmen to distinguish them from Indians by blood in legal documents during the Dawes-Rose process in 1898 to 1914. Federal agents often ignored blood ties. It says, if a tribe member had dark skin or African features, they were placed on the freedmen roll, even if they were biologically the child of a tribal citizen. It says the administrative move created
Thank
a
you.
legal wall between Black Indians and Blood Indians, setting the stage for future disenrollment.
What
It
you
also
need to
says this tactic
understand
has
is
been
right
used
there
primarily
is the
against
twist.
freedmen descending.
Right there is the twist. The quote unquote Black Indians are the Blood Indians. What y'all got to understand is most Siberian types didn't get to the Americas till 1849. Most of them had only been in the country about a decade by the time the Civil War between the tribes had already broke out. And what you got to understand is don't let them shame you with slavery. Ain't nobody getting reparations for slavery, so it don't matter. It was just business as usual, right? Remember, this so-called slavery is the indenture process. Slavery was legalized through the penal system. Slavery never went away. It just turned into jail. Right? So don't let them fool you. Most of them people came over here 1849 during the gold rush. I'm talking about from Asia, the coolie trade. Look this up, the Pacific slave trade. Right? Most of them didn't get here to the mid 1800s. They've been here like a decade by the time the American Indian Civil War, or what they call the American Silver War, and the American Civil War. They're happening at the same time, two different things. You got Indians in the North and the South fighting for the Union and the Confederacy. Remember, it wasn't that many white people here, period. They didn't even start coming here in any mass numbers till 1892, about the time of this Dawes Rose. So it wasn't enough of them even here. So who fighting? Huh? Who is the people in the South that owned the slaves? And who were the slaves? What y'all gonna end up finding out is really they was fighting to free white people. Even the people that came from the coast of Guinea, being sold in the western coast and northern coast of Africa and enslaved in the Caribbean were pale-faced Europeans. Documented. I'm talking about it from 1550 to 1850. Documented. 1.5 to 3.5 million of them. Slaved, enslaved, and sold. Taken from Europe. Enslaved and sold in Western Africa. These is the people who get off the boats. Where you think they get the word redneck and Mountain Johnny and hillbilly? Because they was enslaved in mountainous, hillish regions in the Caribbean. That white nigger stock that come out of the Caribbean that produce people like George Washington and all them. Yeah. That's because them people that got on them boats, right, that was sold to the Europeans was pale-faced. It told you in opposite. Do it make more sense that Black Africans sold their own Black African brothers and people right around them to some white Europeans they don't know, and then they enslaved? Or do it make more sense that Black Africans sold white Europeans enslaved to Black Europeans who were enslaved and inbred with them in the Caribbean? What sound more logical possible to you? That some niggas went and did some deals with some niggas, or some white boys just went in there and just took niggas?
to deny them voting rights and tribal resources. It does say out of all the Native American tribes, the Cherokee were the ones to restore citizenship for freedmen in 2017. It says by 1860, once they had their civil war, the tribes had about 8 to 10,000 enslaved people of African descent. The reason why they had slaves was to prove to the Europeans that they were civilized enough to like basically retain their land. And it's
Cap. Well, many of these people, what you need to understand is the indenture system. At the time, the indenture system, what they was telling the people and what was on the law is two different things. They was telling the people, you dig what I'm talking about? It was cool. This is how you get a job, y'all. You dig what I'm talking about? You indenture your family. And they was hiding it under a system of oh man, why do I always forget this word? It's when you teach a person a skill, right? And then it's not indenture, it's like an internship or oh man. Dang, what is the word? Where, and see, this is what was happening. For instance, right? My brother may have 4 girls, right? But he's a blacksmith, and I got 4 boys. But I know how to sew, right? He would indenture his children, and I would teach them my profession, and he would teach my children his profession. And this is how, this is how a lot of y'all, if you look on the so-called slave records, these people who live in these houses, why that's supposedly enslaved, right? How do they got the same last name as the owner? He got other slaves, they ain't got the same last name. So why do these certain people get the last name of the so-called slave owner, right? And these other slaves don't. Why? Because they're his family. They hid slavery under a system, just like they hid it. They're hiding it under the penal system today. They hid it under a system of what is the word? Oh wow, what's the word when you an apprenticeship? Thank you. And thank you. No, an apprenticeship. They hid the slavery system under the apprenticeship system. We had already been doing that since the 15, 14, 13, way before anybody came here. I teach my kids and my surrounding society, anybody who geared toward it and wanted to learn it, I teach them that. For their help, you dig what I'm talking about? After a certain amount of time, I give them a piece of land, and they leave with the skill to, you know what I mean, build up their own business. You dig what I'm saying? On their own. It's an apprenticeship. That's exactly. Thank you, Yafa. I couldn't think of the word. Right? And once it was taken up out of the apprenticeship, it was hidden up under the 14th Amendment, through getting arrested. As soon as you get arrested, you become a penal slave. Slavery is legal once you get arrested. This is why many of the people was getting arrested for little dumb stuff. They was locking people up to put them in a system, to turn them in a hence black, colored, Negro, which all at one time became synonymous with the word slave. And I don't know how, because we had a whole Slavic people who was that niggas was fighting to keep enslaved in the South. It wasn't us enslaved, y'all. Every one of y'all got a granddaddy before the turn of the century who had a farm, hundreds of acres, could read, write, had everything. You can't have this if you a slave. And guess what else you can't be if you a slave? You can't be on the census before 1870. Huh? We can trace our shit all the way back to the very first census. Many of us and past it. So before 1870, no African or any other type of person could have got up on there anyway. So how did your ancestors get on there in 1860, 1850, 1840, 1830? Huh? Wasn't until Reconstructions that Africans, quote unquote blacks, right, get even let on to the census, let alone a doll's roll. What y'all don't know is many of the tickets for the doll's roll were bought by companies and given to the people who had fought on the side of the Union during the war. Many of them were Africans, free niggas. I got to bring up Nicholas Said again. This nigga was from Cameroon. He was a Muhammadan. That nigga was free. He was intelligent. He spoke. He came over here and indentured himself to the Union, and for his service, they gave him what is called head rights. Huh? Look up Nicholas Said, S-A-I-D. And why, if he's a nigga and supposed to be a slave in mind you, he came over here in 1859. I thought you were supposed to be a slave. The year before the war. What they don't even tell y'all is the United States was going around trying to gather up troops all across the world. They was telling them, if you came over here and fought for freedom, we'll give you some of this land in America. And guess what they did to Nicholas Said, this black ass nigga from Cameroon? They changed him into an American Indian. Then he wrote a book about his whole story and how he got that land in North Carolina. Huh? He sure left up out that book that he fought on the side of the Union. See, it ain't what they told you it was.
Says by 1860, it created a wealthy mixed European elite class within the tribes who often felt superior to full-blood Indians and Black people. So let's talk about the Trail of Tears and what that is. So it refers to the forced relocation and ethnic cleansing of 60,000 to 100,000 Native Americans from the southeastern United States to Indian Territory, which is present-day Oklahoma.
Mind you, I want you to understand, there has never been, right, Mongoloid Native American tribes in southeastern United States. They came here much, much later and fought with the Union against the American Indians. Yeah. Where do you think these freedmen come from? They were captors of war. And a freedman could have been anybody. This is why they document them. Some of the people tell you, oh, we from Europe. We're from this and we're from this. But most of the people tell you, oh, no, I'm Muskogee. I'm Chata. No, I'm Tamukwa. I'm Iroquois. I'm hot, you know. I'm Creek, whatever. But that's what the people are saying. Huh. So don't let them twist it up. Oh, girl, kind of on point, but she just also just regurgitating what's out there. And it's not as nuanced as it could be, but she's doing a great job.
Between 1830 to 1850. It says this displacement was the direct result of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, which I felt like I learned this in like high school.
Indian Removal Act, right?
The Native Americans the act was to authorize the federal government to extinguish native lands claims in the southeast in exchange for lands west of the Mississippi River. It says white settlers coveted indigenous land for the expansion of cotton cultivation and in Georgia specifically the discovery of gold in 1828. So in 1832, the Supreme Court ruled that Native nations were sovereign and state laws had no force on their land. It says President Jackson famously ignored the ruling, allegedly stating Chief Justice John Marshall had made his decision, let him enforce it now if he can, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, the whites bullying the indigenous. I found out why Black Americans aren't labeled Native Americans on paperwork. And it got everything to do with the paper genocide in 18.
Today's video is about what it's like growing up.
You probably had a Black person tell you that they mixed Native American. Hell, at one point it seemed like almost everybody Black was claiming their great-great-grandma was Cherokee. No DNA test, just vibes. But turns out Black Americans have a long history with indigenous people that could explain why so many of us assume we have Native genetics. I'm Alante Serene, and you're watching.
I want y'all to understand this too. A Native American and an American Indian is not even the same thing. The natives are not Algonquin. The natives are not Haudenosaunee. The natives are not Muskogee. They are Chinos who were brought here from Asia and bred by Europeans. They take on a name called mestizo. These mestizos fight to free for on the side of Spain and Mexico, right? To free Mexico. But then them same Indians turn around and fight for the Union, right? In against us in the Seminole Wars and other wars. They are traitors. Because, see, they was here before the white man got here. A lot of them was here. But the primary majority of them came after 1808 and the ending of the Atlantic slave trade. But that's when the Pacific slave trade pumped up. That's why you see them come around during the American Indian War, right? Right around they fight in 1826, free up Mexico. 1830, they with the Europeans on niggas' asses. Ain't making none of this up.
No Africa, they didn't tell that damn lie. Nowhere else.
And my dear, okay then, so we wasn't in slavery like they were saying, was we?
No.
Because Grandma was in the 1800s, so we can go almost 4 or 5 generations back. So Grandma was in from our land is our land, 900 acres of land, right?
Because Blue Family Road, they done took his son down now.
But it's exactly. And our Grandma Hester and our Grandpa Al was Albert, Grandpa Albert. And our names is our name. We didn't get no name from no white people, did we?
Who told that lie?
My dear, they teaching that stuff in the history book, talking about we was slavery.
We wasn't no slavery. Our people weren't foreparents, was not no slavery. They tell them bare-faced lie.
Y'all hear that, don't y'all? Y'all hear that? And we Choctaw, right? That's right. We Choctaw. Y'all see a Choctaw, y'all. That's who we are. And our people were already here. And all of these history books have been lying. We just did the math. We just did the math. So I can go back before they said slavery was freed.
Correct, Malachi Maccabee. The first time we get the understanding of a Native American, we see this in the Know Nothing Party of the 1860s, right? But who were the Native Americans then? They were American-born immigrants banging against the fact that other immigrants were coming to the Americas. They say they people been here since the Plymouth Rock, and it's different, and they different than these immigrants that are being funneled into our country, right? Because one of the biggest problems was the Irish potato famine, 1845. They start dumping, I mean, dumping Irish and Scottish, English, and in 1847, 1848. Germans into the Americas. Told y'all. The Native Americans have always been white boys. Just the ones that was born here that didn't want the United States government to fund and undergird the peasantry of Europe that was flocking to the Americas by the dozens. The Native American Party comes up out of the Know Nothing Party. Look that up. Yup, watch gangs in New York. That's what the whole thing is about. Native Americans against these who? It was a civil war. Same time the Civil War going on. Huh? Come on, man. Come on, man. It wasn't never your fight. And now we learning it again. Huh? That delineation, getting kicked out by ICE, immigrants, all that stuff ain't got nothing to do with us. So we getting reparations, restoration, and all that ain't got nothing to do with them. Listen to you. You was never no slave. How you gonna get reparations from slavery and you was never no slave? This woman got to be in her 90s. Listen.
Y'all see a Choctaw, y'all. That's who we are. And our people were already here. And all of these history books have been lying. We just did the math. We just did the math. So I can go back before they said slavery was freed in Texas. When I did the math, it didn't add up. So I asked my grandmother, and my grandmother said, I said, grandmother, I said, my dear, so you mean, so were we slaves? Were we in the plantation?
Listen.
In the plantation? I mean, so were we slaves? Were we in the plantation?
We don't know about no plantation. I want to eat bomb and all that mess.
I be telling y'all the only reason y'all was on the plantation is because y'all owned the plantation.
But my foreparents know better. They weren't from no plantation.
You see that, y'all? So dirty is right there. My dear just confirmed it. 94 years young. We were not from no darn slavery like they're saying. And we want people to stop saying them lies. And she said that granddad them had their own land, and we didn't have to work like that. We didn't have to work ourselves to death from sun up to sundown. They lying. And then we have all our fruit trees and stuff, my dear.
Right. We had peach trees, apple trees, plum trees, grapevine. vine, muscadine vine, scuffling vine, all that.
Y'all hear that, don't you?
Then
You,
in the country.
you hear that, don't you?
Grandpa gave Grandma the land, her land, and they built houses on it. Grandpa took over and paid, kept the taxes paid on it.
So they had taxes way back in 1800s. So we know now that the white man invaded.
Well, most African Americans believe that the majority of their DNA has roots in Africa, while the remaining has roots in Native American tribes and Europe. This is often backed by genetic studies that reveal that African Americans have 73.2% African DNA, 24% European DNA, and 0.8% Native American DNA. This makes everyone believe that they are majorly descendants of black slaves. But what if we tell you that it's wrong? You have been intentionally told so. In fact, studies reveal that about 98% of African Americans have Native American roots. So, why were you lied to and what do they want to hide? Would have never heard that tens of millions of native black Americans, or rather Indians, used to live before Christopher Columbus came to America. However, immediately after 1492, all of them disappeared. But where did they all go? Well, many were shipped to Europe and Africa as Indian slaves. That's when we realized that the story we have been taught about the slave trade is actually backward. Instead of a massive influx of Africans to America, black Indians were transported from America to Europe. From there, they were sent from Spain to Africa as commodities in exchange for African resources. These black Indians, now mistakenly identified as African Americans, were later shipped back to America and labeled as African slaves. This crucial part of our history is often neglected in school curriculums. Every European nation that colonized.
Also, let's not forget the same thing happened in the Caribbean. Take the Narragansett, for example. 700 of them were POW and then shipped down into Haiti and down to the Caribbean. Years later, they was dumped back in Texas. Huh? So, you know, they always bigging up this Atlantic slave trade that, mind you, stopped after 1808. Wasn't none of that. All right? The British made sure of that. Greatest naval fleet of the time. Wasn't nobody messing with them. They even end up beating the Moors. So who end up many of them and the Templars ended up becoming many of your pirates of the Caribbean. But don't let them fool you that they was just taking them to Africa. They was taking them to the Caribbean too. And bringing the people back. You dig what I'm saying? Back and forth. They never tell you about the intra-American slave trade.
North America exploited Indian slaves for construction, plantations, and mining. These slaves were frequently sent to outposts in the Caribbean and Europe. Historical records, particularly those from South Carolina, the original English colony of Carolina established in 1670, provide the most authentic documentation of this practice. Between 1650 and 1730, it's estimated that at least 50,000 Indians, possibly more, were exported by the English to their Caribbean outposts. Many shipments were conceived.
What I need y'all to understand is that estimated 50,000, and now it's more than that. We know the numbers is more than that. But the estimated 50,000 American Indians shipped out of Charleston, South Carolina is more, just the one shipped out, is more than Africans brought in or shipped out of Charleston. And we know Charleston has a major slave port. So who was being sold? American Indians POW'd after war. You wasn't no slave in the sense that somebody made you work like that. You fought the whole time. You was never a punk, never a slave, never a nobody. But when they get the ups, boy, they show like to press that line.
To avoid paying government tariffs and taxes. Between 1670 and 1717, more Indians were exported than Africans were imported. Entire tribes in the southern coastal regions were decimated by slavery more than by disease or war. A law
don't be making this up. I ain't never seen this. Did y'all hear that though? Let's go back. Just to show you that I know what I'm talking about. I ain't told you nothing I can't prove. More American Indians were shipped out of the greatest slave port in the Americas than Africans brought in or shipped out. Let that sink in a second. I want to let y'all know this. From 1492 to 1992, 500 years, right? There's been more Africans to come to the Americas since 1992 to now, right? In the last 34 years, there have been more Africans that come to America after 1992 than between 1492 and 1992. Let that sink in. You ain't from Africa.
1930, it's estimated that at least 50,000 Indians, possibly more, were exported by the English to their Caribbean outposts. Many shipments were concealed to avoid paying government tariffs and taxes. Between 1670 and 1717, more Indians were exported than Africans were imported. Entire tribes in the southern coastal regions were decimated by slavery more than by disease or war. A law passed in 1704 conscripted Indian slaves to fight in colonial wars long before the American Revolution. Indians found themselves caught in the colonial powers' strategies for economic control. The fur trade in the Northeast, the English plantation system in the South, and the Spanish mission system in Florida all caused major disruptions to Indian communities. Displaced Indians from the fur trade in the North migrated south. Plantation owners armed them to hunt slaves living in Spanish mission communities. The French French, English, and Spanish manipulated the slave trade to their advantage. They negotiated the freedom of slaves in exchange for peace, friendship, and military alliances. Well, most African Americans believe that the majority of their DNA has roots in Africa, while the remaining has roots in Native American tribes and Europe. This is often backed by genetics.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go back a little bit because basically what I was just don't even worry about it, y'all. It don't even matter. You dig what I'm saying? Because what y'all need to know is they not like us. They don't have the same claim you have. And just because they have brown skin doesn't mean they get a vote. None of what anybody else is saying matters. It don't matter if Caribbeans is mad. Don't matter if Africans is mad. Don't matter if Europeans is mad. Nobody can stop what's about to happen. None. None can stop the progress of the Creator.
A lot of people don't know that America tends to cover up the history of its Afro-Native Americans, okay? So the Native American depiction that they mainly show in the mainstream is often a straight-haired, lighter complected, almost Euro representing person.
A Mongol.
However, the kinky-haired, black beings, we're also Native Americans. I am Native American in the flesh. So make sure you guys are tapping into your history, know where you really come from, know what land you originate from. You know,
They lied when they told you in history all the Indians gone. Where they go? Where they go? Where they go? They said there was 8 billion Indians. Where they go? You really believe they killed 8 billion of us? They just got here. They just got here. They just got here. Fuck what they telling you. You see, these motherfuckers went back and wrote themselves in our history they got spells of us trying to make us think that they been here and shit because we have forgot, nigga. 500 of their man-made years, nigga. 1492 is when they landed. They didn't take over to 1776. They got you thinking they've been here for forever. They just got here, nigga. You are the Indians. They called you that right in history. Indians, nigga. The Indians that they show you are $5 Indians, nigga. What they call $5 Indians. These are human beings posing as motherfucking Indians, nigga. Getting all the land reservations, all the free land, all the money, nigga. We are the Indians. You looking at them. You looking at them every day, nigga. They didn't kill us. They just renamed us. They enslaved us and renamed us.
Facts.
They didn't bring us across from no motherfucking Africa neither.
Facts.
They got you thinking we all came from Africa to hide the fact that we was everywhere, nigga. We everything. And I'm just keeping it on a third dimensional level, nigga. I ain't gotta take you up into the cosmos to let you know how you created the whole fucking cosmos, nigga. We can just stay right here on the planet with this shit. 8 billion motherfucking Indians, nigga. Where do you think they went? You looking at them, nigga. They lied when they told you in history all the Indians gone. Where?
Let me clear this up. I've been watching some TikTok videos about Black Americans.
Foundational Black Americans. Let me ask you a question.
He was so sassy. He was so sassy. I couldn't even stand to watch it.
Are you noticing that I Show Speed is over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and you have black people over there, blacker than me, by the way, who are telling him they were the original indigenous before Columbus? Are you noticing there's no compilations about how those people over there are pretendians? Where are all the red-skinned Indians from here always lecturing us? Oh, you got nothing to say. You ain't said shit about Cheddar Man yet. You know, the black-skinned indigenous person over there in Britain who's got white descendants? They ain't said shit about I Show Speed and all the black skinned indigenous people over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It is fascinating. The only time people want to shout out, pretendian, 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 you don't know history. Oh, you don't know history. It's when it's foundational black Americans. But when everybody else say the same shit, they suddenly shut the fuck up. Fascinating, isn't it? Foundational black Americans. Let me ask you a question. Are you noticing that I Show Speed is over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and you have black people over there, blacker than me, by the way, who are telling him they were the original indigenous before Columbus? Are you noticing there's no compilations about how those people over there are pretendians? Where are all the red-skinned Indians from here always lecturing us? Oh, you got nothing to say. You ain't said shit about Cheddar Man yet. You know, the black-skinned indigenous person over there in Britain who's got white descendants? They ain't said shit about I Show Speed and all the black-skinned indigenous people over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It is fascinating. The only time people want to shout out, pretendian, 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 you don't know history. Oh, you don't know history. It's when it's foundational black Americans. But when everybody else say the same shit, they suddenly shut the fuck up. Fascinating, isn't it? Foundational black Americans. Let me ask you a question. Are you noticing that?
Hey, I'm about to show y'all a secret.
I want to show y'all this real quick. Let me show y'all something in the O. Right? Let me show y'all something in the O. Right? Let me blow this up just a little bit. Right? Watch this. I'm going to just show you why you different. Right? I'm going to show you why you different. Can everybody see that? Let me get that out of there. Share that. Okay. I'm going to show you why you different. Look what it say, y'all. For I will leave one race of Ahuans on earth. Right? So we got to go look up. Right? Let me pull up another one. Let me pull up another one real quick. 1 second, y'all. Let me pull up another one so I can get to this dictionary real quick. And when we come to getting another stogie, fools all kick in like Shinobi. There's too many heads to be popping to let my friend hit bit. Unless you pull out the fat crispy $5 bill on the reel for its history. Cause niggas be having them vacuum lungs, and if you let it hit them for free, hold on, you hella dumb, dumb. Right? What is an Ahuan? Right? What is an Ahuan? Because we gotta go look what a Ahuan is. Right? Now we see right here, Ahuan. Right? A half-breed between the Ions, the people who get it, right? And the Druks, the people who don't. Huh? A half-breed between the people of light and the people of darkness. Right? Half-breed between the mound builders and the megalithic builders. They are the what? The Ahuan is the copper-colored race. Now, again, he says, what? Creator says, for I will leave one race of copper-colored people on the earth. Huh? In Guatemala or North America. AKA, what is he called? This copper-colored man from America, right? Specifically North America, is called the what? The North American Indian, copper-colored, Negroidal. And just like OSB say, he got long, black, coarse hair. Do I keep having to do this? Let me pull this up one more time because they're going to think I'm lying when I say long, black, coarse. Right? Watch this. Watch who come up in long. I'm going to just put it into Google. Black, coarse hair. Right? Watch what come up. Share the images. Booyah. So he say, I'm going to leave one set of copper-colored people in America and calls them the North American Indian. He describes them as copper-colored brown, well-shaped, spiritually and physically symmetrical. So this is why y'all the most beautiful people in the world also. This is why you are physically and spiritually dominant in all the arts. You are the last of your kind. And the copper-colored people with long black coarse hair, and that there is only one type of, there ain't no more of these. Remember, we already in the Cosmon era, right? For I will leave one race of copper-colored people on the earth in North America, in Guatemala, which means the 4 tribes, right? I will leave one of these copper-colored people with long black coarse hair and negroidal features in North America specifically. And they are the who? The North American Indian. So copper color, right? Long black coarse negroidal, athletic, spiritual, and physical. That only defines one people in America, the Negro. And even till the Cosmon era. Huh? We in the Cosmon right now. So who in America is copper colored, negroidal, with long black coarse hair in America? Anybody? Anybody? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Because if I have some real people, you dig what I'm talking about, who could just See it plain. Don't put no twists on it. Some real faith, some realist. They'll hit me with some vortexes in the chat. I don't got to make it up, y'all. What they say these people look black? Hold on, watch this. Watch this. What do they say these anguis, these? Hold on. These American Indians look like. Hold on, watch this. Hold on. I don't want to show that. I want to show. Hold on. 1 second, John. Okay. Let me share this. This is the Lord's third book. Now watch this. I want to go up a little bit. And then at the same time, the Lord calls the chosen to display their mold of their thighs and their short, shapely arms. And the Ahuans, the copper-colored people, tempted them contrary to law. So it came to pass that the Ahuan women boasted of their conquest, bringing forth heirs of more shapeliness. So this ain't just spiritual. This is genetics. Now, when their heirs grew to be men and women, behold, they had the gift of prophecy, and seeing visions and hearing the voice of the angels of heaven, and they were called Anguigan, the same thing that the Haudenosaunee called themselves, and the same thing that the Algonquins called themselves, signifying good-shaped men, first of men, right? It says the Anguis, the American Indians, North, and specifically the North American Indians, came suddenly into the world by the thousands and thousands they came in north, south, east, and west, right? And look what they say they look like, because Owaspy, this is dope, because it don't even say this for them Jews, and they was able to steal all that land over there. They God don't give them this much in depth, you know what I mean, proof about who the people would be objectively. But it do for the nigga in America, the Indian, called an Angui, who is descendant of an Ahuan. He's an Ahuan, right? And they had long hair, black and coarse. So even though, and then what? This the killer, right? They already had, their skin is brown, right? There's a whole bunch of people who white, who, you know, like the Mexicans, you dig what I'm talking about, pale faces, who say they the brown people. But objectively, they're not brown. They pink at best, right? But these people we looking for in America got brown skin. Not only brown skin, they would be called copper-colored brown. Uh-oh. And then this kill it. Because can't a Native American do this? Native Americans ain't got, they got long black hair, but it ain't long black and coarse. Because when I pull up, once again, long black and coarse, don't nothing but some niggas from America, aka the Anguis, aka the Algonquin, the Egoquim, the niggas of America, the North American Indians. Nothing but them staring back at you. Long, black, coarse. This is what they say the American Indian hair looks like in America today. We're talking about a prophecy about that was written thousands of years ago about what's going to be happening today in 2026. This is how you prove if somebody's revelation is real. It got to come in real time. You got to be able to see it. It's only one people who are copper-colored brown with long, black, coarse nigger hair in the Americas, and they are the niggas. But now we finding out they only from America. Why? Why? For I will leave one race of the copper-colored Ahoans on the earth. In North America, aka the North American Indian, even till the era of Cosmon. Why? What do you prove even being here? Why did he even doing that? And angels and men, right? And men and angels shall see and understand that man of himself never invents a God in the figure of a man born of woman, and that only through the inspiration of my enemies, who would build kingdoms in Hara, Hades, or the lower atmospheric breathable air called hell. Only my enemies would build for their own glory. Has any people ever fallen from my estate to worship a God in the image of a man? This is why the American Indian never worshiped a God. You are proof you never worshiped a God. You always praised the Great Spirit. Even when you was indoctrinated into Buddhism, Brahmanism, Muhammadanism, Christianity. You wasn't talking about no man. You was talking about the Great Spirit, the cause of all causes. This has been in your blood. You are proof that man never invents a God that he can see. Why? Because we have a system in America called Manito that teaches the American Indian that after he dies, his spirit graduates up into the heavens and he turns into God, his brother, something that you wouldn't praise. God is the ancestor. Yichi is the creator. What is the worker of the Great Spirit called? Gichi Manito. Come on, y'all. We got the. We had a whole system of understanding that man becomes God in America. That's what they had to wipe out. You prove as the American Indian, what? That man of himself never invents a God in the figure of a man born of woman. This is the understanding of what Yeshua was trying to tell you when he was saying that you can do the same thing that he can do. God ain't what they told you it is. And we never came up with one in the figure of a man. So all those who come from the womb of a woman purported to be the sun, the creator of the sun, moon, and stars are false. And the fact that niggas in America, right? And the fact that niggas are in America is the proof of that. That's why you so special. Your existence brings the religious ideologies to its knees. This is why they hate you. It's way deeper than what they're trying to tell you. And the crazy part is when the first time an image of a god was made, it was a you. It just wasn't praised. They came over here and brought the praise. And every time a god came and touched the people, what happened? They don't exist no more. What happened to the Aztec? What happened to the Inca? Come in contact with these people, poof. And they God, poof. The North American Indian, who is copper colored, brown. Let me blow this up. Copper color, brown, with long black coarse nigga hair. But our arms were short, unlike our great ancestors. They had long, this is why you see them niggas, them big long arms. Yeah. You come from that giant stock of niggas. Half of you do. You are the iron-leaning Ahuan, called an Angui-Gan, an modern-day Indian, an American Indian. And they had long black coarse nigger hair, and they had brown copper color skin, and their arms were short, like the Ions. Like the people who are proportioned right? But they little. And then you got these big ass, giant ass niggas. They ain't always proportioned right. Their arms is in a sense longer than their legs, even though they're very tall. Very proud was these copper colored Negro Americans. These niggas. And mind you, the word Angui is the word Negro. You take the EE and put it in between the NEEG. You move the O to the N, and the sound is Negro, right? Meaning dark or, black, right? But you got to remember, who did we come into contact with first? The Spanish, right? And then the Portuguese. What you got to understand is in Latin, ain't no wo sound. So the wo becomes ro, a double rolling R, right? So Angui becomes Nikwo, becomes Nikro. Now, Waspi said you're going to readily know these Anguis. I would like any of y'all to go in your phone and call your nearest Angui. But if I told you, go into your phone and call your nearest Negro, you'd be able to pick your phone up and beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. They would not mix back in with the great megalithic builder stock, even though they of them. And they dared not mix with the sacred people, the little people, the mound builders, even though they're their mothers, in a sense. And the Ahuans are their fathers. They dared not mix back with them. So the Anguigan, the modern American Indian, became a new race in the world. Now, mind you, this is 20,000 years ago, y'all. 18,000 BC. Right? Are you saying y'all niggas, there wasn't no original Americans? No, I'm saying we're aboriginal. Just like the story explained, we come from two people. The Ahoans and the Ayans. The mound builders and the megalithic builders, the pyramid builders and the mound builder stock makes a modern Negro called Anguican, or the modern American Indian. So the modern American Indian, who copper-colored brown with long black coarse negroidal hair, became a new race in the world, having all the symmetry of the Ayin, huh? That's why you're the most beautiful people on the planet, and the savageness of the Ahoans. This is why I can't nobody fuck with you physically. And watch this. And being feeders on flesh and fish, you some barbecue. First of all, barbecue is an Algonquin word. It's from America, right? So the whole fact of barbecuing, it come out of America, period. The word. So the idea come out of America too, right? And being feeders on flesh and fish fell under the dominions of angels of the lower heavens, or the inorganic heavens, and they rejected the Lord God. Nigga, you ain't never praised the God. Ever. 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 I'm just saying. It ain't what they told you. It ain't what they told you. Watch this, though. All right, ain't nobody coming on. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and let it rock, man. It is what it is. I'm going to just let this thing keep steaming. I think we're going to get up out of here on this one, y'all. It's the big cloud kicker, Nakwakaiki. Huh? Kicking all that pie out the sky. Right? I think we're going to go out of here on this one. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out to the dreadful Yogi, right? My brother, Yara Ya and Bronze Yogi, huh? The dreadful Yogi, man. Shout out to my brothers, man. Y'all go over there, sub, like, share, Dreadful Yogi channel. You dig what I'm talking about? They dropping some little hot stuff over there. You dig what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I should. Yeah, let me go over there. Hold on. You know what? No. I'm gonna just leave this short and sweet. And I think we out of here with this one, man. I'm gonna just leave this. I'm gonna burn it to the ground. Why? Hey, selector, rewind. Hey, y'all. All I need y'all to do, and y'all know what I need y'all to do. Don't even act that way. You dig what I'm talking about? Don't even act like that. Don't act like that Cosmon ain't came on here in a minute. Y'all don't get to acting funny on me now. You dig what I'm saying? I'm going to keep coming with it, for sure. Right? Enjoy it while I'm talking, because when I stop talking, you better duck. And y'all know what I need y'all to do, man. I only ask y'all to do one thing. Huh? Well, actually, two things. You know what I mean? But, you know. Huh? I only need you to do two things. And that's breathe in and let that light in. Huh? Because I'm Cosmon and I'm out, man. Salute to the righteous ones, man. Peace to the righteous God. CGG created gang. It's in this thing. Huh? And Nakwakaiki, y'all breathe in, let that light in. I'm out.
There's a song in my heart in gratitude, yeah. With a little bit of heaviness. The world is such a wreck. Got money for war, but can't feed the poor. So I roll up. So I roll up. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance. The ever-presence told me to wise up. Take the gang and rise up. No heroes, no leaders, no egos. From where the blues play to Cali, USA. That's dreadful, but in a good way. Celebrate the creator on today. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Negative thoughts don't stand a chance. They wanna bang bang on the yogi. Meditation is my dance.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word, and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word, and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one.
Before the earth took shape, new sound of sight, the creator sliced the time in the day and night. He breathed through void till the ether stirred, then sent angels and prophets to teach his word. Motion, notion, devotion aligned, encoded design in the spine of time. Wind wrote signs on the breath of the prime, S intertwined with the flesh of the line. Quicken the killer, conceiver entwined, dual divine, the ether confined, two entities birthed, corporate S, life compressed in the vortex nest, spirit in the mist, physics resist, matter persist in Jehovah's fist, dust kiss flame, clay became twist, anatomy gift from the infinite list, male and female named through air, EOE, that sacred blare, not beast, not star, not anywhere but the whisper of wind as a builder's prayer. Vortex speak, the sequence hum, the life resume. From void to bloom, to eat the groom, creation's womb. Every tune in the flames plume, a living rune. If your soul need food, here's what you consume.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sun, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah, symmetry sun, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one.
Three states of worlds I made, corporeal terrain, an atmosphere and chain to Ethereum planes, ether the pure, obscure domain, the ghost of light, free the soul from shame, atmosphere, field and flow, AGA, nebula glow, currents collide where the comets go, gravity bend with the vortices, so sound became law, law gave sight, and every soul aligned in Jehovah's light, his love gave reason and the heart retune, if your body need rest, here's the text to consume.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung, Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung, heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, Devotion sprung, Jehovih reigns for the chosen, the only one.
Before the clay inhaled the spark, the plan was grand. See moose spun pulse through the dust of man. Ether expand to where the blueprint ran. Spirit tied to flesh by Jehovah's hand. Angels descended, intelligent, warm. Walk with Azu where the light was born. Heaven breathed with a mortal form. Lord met love and the veil was torn. Seed took root in the coil's perfume. Sense evolved under the sun and the moon. Time broke the sleep of a deep commune. And now man learns pattern from teeth to spoon. From breath to balance, the most high drop clues. From speech and sequence, the spirit world moved from page to prophecy. Through mahogany hues. If your mind need peace, here's the key to consume.
The book of Jehovah, symmetry sung. Heard his word and the world begun. Motion one, devotion sprung. Jehovah reigns for the chosen, the only one. The book of Jehovah.
Shout out to Cosmon Cow. Cosmon Cow, boy, I'm going to tell you something. He is a problem. He is a problem when it comes to these Hebrew Israelites. Y'all better stop playing. He is a problem. Cosmon Cow is a problem. Creator gang.
Yeah, the gang coming. Creator gang coming. Turning up the light and watching boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan.
Creator gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
And oh yeah, put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feel it when you feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh,
It's that Japheth, that Chow Mein, that Papa Bull, that Tao Mein, since sun south in the arc of Wayne. My brain moving like Tao Sang, so as above, it's so below. That up and that down thing, this flow is atmospheric. I call that a ground game. See, water is knowledge, so if I'm teaching, you're learning. So how your God make a sun without vortexing current? See the pattern is ponic, I'm reaching out for my people. Oh, watch me flow through your speakers, you feel the force of the ethers. And when the force gets the equal, I'm taking off like an eagle. Police popped the pastor yesterday for pushing Tariq. My DNA is Moshe. Mix that thing with higher water. My spirit rate is OTN. It's just a higher order. Got more light than Kavita. Rap a lot just like Tila. Went from sinner to saint. Shout out my big homie Sealer. Got more torque than a sports car. Got more work than a door star. In the 4 million I make, I'm giving the Dr. Umar. Oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Super 7 in my rites and ceremonies. I'm married to Jehovah, holy matrimony. Confucius say, in the words of Caillou, before you hit the tomb, be a bridegroom. Only got one question for Miss Susan B. On how to last Ahuin is now a Angui. Blame my inspiration, I'm just thinking thoughts. But
but in the way of God's, we gon' keep it short. Why Jesus wanna kill me? Matthew 10:34. Just a couple questions that I'm needing to know. Oh, watch me flow, it's so potent. Set the vortex in motion. Super 7, I'm floating across the Aegean Ocean. Oh, you a Muslim now, so I guess you making salat. Well, I'm an Israelite, I'ma make him at the Shabbat. Got Moses on the bumper, super slap off in my spaceship photosphere. So I stay lit, peace and light to the faith is so yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you're feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied